Now, in this church, on a given Sunday, the women all sat up here at the front, and the men all sat at the back. And this is the way it is often. Like in Ireland, Roman Catholic country, the women are at the front, the men are at the back. Then service is over. So guess who goes out of the door first? The men. And all the men from Cerrito on a given Sunday would stand outside the churchyard and they were there first as the women began to come out. And one of the most famous photos ever taken of this village was an Easter Sunday in 1941 when the men were all standing outside there and the women were filing out afterwards. And what the men would do is they'd stand around and do men talk. They would talk about, in 1941, jobs. You know, well, did you hear about a job? You know, the WPA, the CCC. This was still, you know, America was coming out of the Depression. Meanwhile, the women and the girls, all the females, would go back to the homes and prepare the Sunday dinner. And then after the men had had their talk, which was, you know, a weekly thing. This happened every week. This was the occasion when they all got together and talked about stuff. Then they go back to their homes for the Sunday meal. So this was something that was a ritual in El Cerrito and actually in Roman Catholic countries elsewhere in the world, like Ireland. Okay, anybody, any questions, any thoughts? Tinieblas, yeah, that was a frightening experience. It means something about descending. Yeah, Doug? Nope.
No, we're good. How often do they have Mass here?
How often do they have Mass here? They used to have Mass every Sunday, and they actually had services at other times in the week. The women were more devout than the men, typically. The village population today is probably close to 20. The high point for the village population was 321, only 17 years after the village was founded. That was 1841. They would have the priest come out every Sunday, or almost every Sunday. The priest from Villanueva, he would give us a service up there and then come here. So they would have Mass, they would have a service every Sunday. But in the last 40 years maybe, 50 years, since the middle part of the 19th century, the population has been so small that the mayordoma, you know, a mayordomo is the guy in charge of the ditch. Well, the mayordoma is the person in charge of the church. And she would conduct services. Now, she couldn't do anything by way of official, you know, baptisms or things, but she would be able to conduct service and they would sing. So I've been here on many a Sunday when there was a service. But you see, not everybody in the village is a Roman Catholic today. The Spanish typically are, but there are now some Anglos that live in the village. So it's, you know, a group of a dozen people, maybe, that come to church on a given Sunday. And they continue to have services every Sunday. And Margie Quintana, who gave me the key, is the one that conducts the services. And there's that bulto up there at the top of the altarpiece. That's amazing. Okay, anybody question? If not, let's adjourn. You guys are really tired, I know, from a long day.